Ladies and gentlemen, now we have a very special message from Eva Maydell. She is member European Parliament. Can we have the video, please? The message is on digital transformation. Let's see.
Dear participants in the Global Technology Summit, it's a pleasure to be here with you today during such an exciting moment for global AI governance. I'm very grateful for the invitation to Carnegie India and the Indian Ministry of External Affairs, and also to them for organizing this summit. It's unfortunate, but due to the ongoing negotiations on the European AI Act here in Brussels, I could not join you in person, but I hope to be able to do so at the next occasion. I wanted to use the opportunity to start by summarizing what the European Union's planned AI law set out to be, how it is changing, and what I hope for it to become. So first, what we set out to be is that the AI Act was released back in 2021. That is, of course, way before all the ChatGPT hype. The Act is the world's first ever general law on AI. It is horizontal, meaning it covers all sectors. It utilizes a so-called pyramid approach, ranging from prohibited practices to low-risk practices, which do not need to be regulated. Of particular interest is the high-risk category, which regulates risky use cases such as biometric facial recognition, topics related to migration or credit assessment in employment or education. So that's about the first part. When it comes to the second part, how the AI Act is changing, I have to say that when the initial law was presented back in 2021, we had not seen many of the breakthroughs that we're seeing today. And with the AI race heating up, we have seen the debate around foundational models and generative AI intensify. And this is why we responded by introducing new text that is addressing these challenges. Thirdly, I want to share what my hopes are for the Act. We're in the midst of the final negotiations of this law, aiming to conclude it in the next couple of weeks or months. When it comes to innovation, to adequate guardrails and international collaboration, I have to say that this has been at the heart of my work on the AI Act. I want a law that delivers for both citizens and the creators and innovators trying to advance in this space. I have to underline that the European AI Act is far from being the only AI rulebook in town, as you all know. At first sight, the recent news do not sound very promising for the possibility of a global democracy-minded AI pact. But what we've seen is that from the White House executive order to the G7 codes of conduct to the UK AI summit, there's one thing that's clear. And this is that world leaders are trying to get ahead on AI and show they're in control. Many have painted these developments as some sort of a striking divergence between the EU and the rest. The EU going for the binding regulatory approach and the rest of the world opting for voluntary measures. But I don't think the picture is so black and white, and I think we can still avoid regulatory fragmentation. What I aim to do is that I acknowledge that there are differences in governance philosophies and technological priorities, but yet I see some convergence among democracies. And let me point out three concrete areas. First, when it comes to underlying values, the EU AI Act promises many of the same principles as the Niti Aayog proposed. For instance, when it comes to safety, to equality, privacy, transparency, these are all featured in both approaches. Secondly, when it comes to foundational models, the UK AI Summit, the G7 Codes of Conduct, and also the White House Executive Order all focus on the most powerful AI models. And as you all know, we are also in the midst of the discussions on foundational models. And as Parliament, we have pushed for an approach that focuses on these powerful foundational models. Thirdly, I think it's very important to support innovation. And we have put several concrete measures in the AI Act that aim to boost innovation, which can also be seen with and in the White House Executive Order. I'm putting all this out there in this some sort of a constructive way, as I would like to say that what the EU is doing is not diametrically opposed to what other democracies are doing. I think it's complementary. And I think global democratic allies need to work together on the development, on the application, and governance of leading edge technology like AI. And in the next 18 months, democracies face the perfect storm. We have several elections in key jurisdictions, such as India, the US, the EU. We are faced with multiple theaters of war, disinformation, but also struggling economies. And I think this is the moment to ramp up our cooperation with India and other key partners. And I'm very much looking forward to stay in touch with many of you going forward in order for us to work on those points and to facilitate that. Thank you.